Hey guys, welcome back to Fishing It Up. In this two-part video, I will show you how to take apart and clean and then lubricate and reassemble your baitcaster. Get this grease here. Now, if you would prefer to use the Lews grease, that's fine. You can go purchase it. Me, I just have this and I've used it and I've not had issues with it. There's quite a few brands of real oil and grease. So I'm just going to get a little bit on my Q-tip and just put just a little bit on there. Not so much that it goes everywhere. And then I'm just going to kind of spin it to work it in. And you can kind of see it on there. It looks like little hairs where it's sticking. Any excess that I didn't want, kind of wipe it off top. Might be able to put just a little bit more on there. If you get grease on stuff you don't want to, just wipe it off. Try not to get it in your bearings. So, we got that one. We'll go ahead and start putting some of this back together. This drag washer here, you can actually see the imprint on the back. I don't know if you can see that on camera or not, but you can see the imprint, and that way you can put it back exactly the way it came out. So we're going to put that down on there. Go ahead and pick this up. And then it had the drag washer and then the stack. Now, we got that clean, put back together. I'm going to take and clean some of the other parts that I have laying off to the side over here. Same with this one. Maybe better to grab the microfiber cloth here and just wipe it. And especially when we start, if we oil anything, the bearings or whatever, you don't want to get them crossed up. You don't want to get oil on the things that need grease, and you don't want to get grease on the things that need oil. So just try to be as clean as possible. Just lightly coat this thing here. Got a piece of fuzz. This is to keep your parts from wearing. This is the whole point in this. But I just lightly and as accurately as possible just wipe some grease around through there. Now, so this pinion, this is what the spool actually goes into, and it goes together with the yoke like that. They slide together like that, and it'll slide down through there. And then the two springs went on top of that. So I'm going to take, before I put this together, I'm going to apply a little bit of grease to the pinion gear. This is lubricated as well, so they're gonna kind of lubricate each other. Now this is gonna go over that with the metal side up, as we discussed before, and we're gonna line that up with the two studs there and slide it down. I'm just gonna turn this by hand here, kind of get the grease worked around, see if I got any excess that needs to be wiped off so it don't end up everywhere. All right, Q-tip over there. Now I'm going to take the two little springs. They go on these shafts here, studs, whatever you like to call them. And we're going to start putting the cover back on now. But before we do that, set this off to the side. You have a bearing that's inside here that we could go ahead and clean as well. And there's one here. This one's on your cast control knob. You can see the Q-tip is not getting as dirty as what the other ones were. So I will take, since I've cleaned that, I will take and add 1 drop of oil in there. Good. Same goes for this one. 1 drop of oil here. Same goes for this bearing here. Now, we're gonna put this cover back on, clean it up. You can see we had to line this pretty nasty rod up here with the corresponding hole. This reel, I use it for bottom contact baits through here. Lines up with jigs, Pinion, or worms, creatures, stuff like that. Snap down once you get everything in place. Now, if you don't want your springs and everything falling back apart, we can go ahead and get the screws we took out and we marked over here back. So I'm going to grab that one first. Oh, one thing I did forget is the one that goes in the back actually holds on this inspection door, like if you wanted to grease and oil that way. But it is a good way to fill your reel plumb full of oil everywhere and not get it where you need it. I'm just not a fan of that when you can take these apart in just a few minutes and get them back together and cleaned and everything. It's worth it just to do this once a season. Oh, there we go. Get that out of the way. Now we have this sleeve here that went down in there. I'm going to leave it clean for now because I did apply some oil in there. You can kind of see it on camera, hopefully. Once you get it lined up, it'll work its way right down in there. Now, if you want to, you can go ahead and put the cast control knob back on, or you can wait. It's totally up to you. If I can get it on there, I'm going to screw it back on. If I can't, we'll leave it laying here for the time being. But there, we got it started. Now, I'm just going to work backwards from what I did earlier. I'm going to check these before I put them back on, make sure they're not nasty. If you notice, there was a real fine washer on the back of that. It's actually pretty clean. And while we have this apart here, if you look, these washers are bowed. They're curved. You don't want them to be curved to fit together typically. You want them to be curved against each other. Or so I've been told by my local tackle shops that they need to be curved against each other. So put those back in there. This small one. Oh, I can't really get it picked up. There we go. So we're going to slide the small one down on there. Slide this back down on there. It may help sometimes to do one thing at a time. That way you can see the pattern on there. We'll slide that down. And we're going to slide these two of the curved washers down on there. I got those worked down. Now, alright, and while I was doing that, another small washer fell out of here. So we're going to put that on there. So we get this slid back down on there. I'm going to put our drag handle back on, which it's going to thread on there. We took it off earlier clockwise, so we're going to spin it on counterclockwise. Alright, now it's actually making a noise. So, we got a couple little things here. We got another washer. It's actually dirty. I'll use the cloth to clean it up. Put that washer there. Now, same goes for the handle. We can go ahead and wipe it off while we're at it. Used to be a total clean freak. Just clean everything. Now we're just going to put the handle back on. Alright, then we're going to put the 10mm nut on there. It also screws on counterclockwise. Some of these can be tricky to get started because it's square. There we go. You can tell it screws on there pretty easy once you get it right. Now I'm going to go back over here and get my 10mm wrench. And counterclockwise we go, just a little snug. Because what we're going to try to do here is get this retainer lined up so the screw hole lines up, and it looks like I've nailed it the first try. And then you take this small little screw, that set screw holds it in there. I'll screw that back in. Now, we did not clean and lubricate our worm gear up here. I didn't discuss earlier about lubricating it, but we did not clean it. So there, you can pull it completely out as well while you have the reel tore down, but I usually just wipe these free of any contaminants. And then you want to put a drop of oil on it. Well, we're in the home stretch now. So, now we're going to put the spool back in there. If you can see down in there, that is the pinion that we took apart earlier. This is going to slide right into it. Goes together. We'll put the, if you need to, you can clean and actually oil the bearing that's here on the side plate. I'm going to pull this out. Slide that back together, make sure it's locked. There you have it. If you've enjoyed today's video, please consider subscribing. But as always, please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Fishing It Up.